Go a little bit better, so I'm not all... Oh, you know what? I don't have I'm talking to myself. Let's see. Let's see what the hair is doing today. I missed my haircut a couple of weeks ago, which was actually fine, because it was actually scheduled too early. But I missed it because I got the COVID, and now I got to do another haircut. So hey, good morning, good afternoon, good noon, right up. Well, now it's already 12:01 by the time I stopped talking. But hey, happy Sunday, people. Sunday. Let me get this straight. Sunday, August 18th. We are now officially past the halfway mark of August. So sadly for me, and maybe sadly for you, I don't know how you feel about it, but the summer is quickly in the back rear view mirror, and the fall, the autumn, the local summer, the Indian summer, all those summers are kind of through the windshield. So good afternoon. Good afternoon, Dana. Daner. You're talking about up in Mass, if you don't watch it, tell somebody their name is Daner. Hi, Debbie from Tennessee. Nice to see you. I am Beth. I am from Pennsylvania. If anybody wants to tell me what state they're in, that's pretty cool too. This is one of the cool things about social media in general. TikTok right here, because we're at it, or on it, is the way that we can connect, even though there are miles all over the place. Jay Bro from Mass. Go Mass, I love it. That's where I'm originally from. You're going to hear it in my voice. NorCal in the house, Texas, Michigan, see, all over the world, or at least the United States, huh? Florida, love it. So, yeah, I'm originally from Mass, but I've lived in PA almost 20 years, and I lived in Delaware for a while, that lovely little state known as Delaware. It is a lovely little state because that's where my husband's from. New York, Linda's on the down the shore. You down the shore, Linda? That's awesome. What a wonderful place to be at this time of year. Is at the beach, I like to say. So good morning, everybody. Good afternoon. There we go. Jess from LA. Little romper room me, please. Okay. Jess from LA is on. Hey, Jess from LA. Nice to see you. Checking in from Southern California. Los Angeles, where my husband and I met. Denver, Kayla, my nephew, my sister and her husband and my nephew are going out there tomorrow because my nephew is going to the University of Colorado in Boulder. My husband and I also had a lovely visit in Denver. Crap, was it only last year? I don't know. Time flies. Hey, there we go. So Kat Roby is saying, hey yo, right back to you. Started with the August tracker and timed tasks to culminate in this live. I love it. Okay, I thought there was a little kid behind me. I think it's just a bird. I will share this with you, Kat. I too have been keeping up with my habit tracker, my pavers and potholes. The cool thing is I see some potholes, but you know what I see a lot more of is pavers. Of little things that I've done every day, and I will share with you guys that it's working. It helps. It helps remind me to do the things that may be organic to some people, but to me, I often have to be reminded to do things like take a shower, floss my teeth, things like that, you know? So find out, this is what I do, find out what works for you. Tracking like a mad woman, yeah. And the things I'm tracking are really simple, basic things, the simple, bare necessities. But if I don't track them, I forget them. I set them and forget them, you know. Carla, nice to see you. Happy Sunday to you as well. I am set up in a different part of the patio today, but you know what? Enough about me, because I could get into just chatting with people because I see some friendly names. But I want to make sure that I don't neglect introducing myself to whoever may be new here, who's just scrolling on your TikTok today on Sunday, and you're like, what the heck's going on here? Hey, my name is Beth. My name is Karen. My name is Karen. Anybody? Boston Science Museum? I know it's a deep cut. I do, but it lives in my head. My name is Beth. I am a decluttering life coach, and I call my coaching Destination Decluttered. Why? Because you'll know why when you hear me talking about it, and I refer to things as a road trip. That, you know, you are in a car called your life and you're driving either towards where you want to go to or away from it. Or maybe you're stuck in the driveway. Maybe you have no gas in your tank and you're like, I don't even know where I'm going. So destination decluttered. Destination is the word that really clicked it for me when I used to say, I can plan a kick-ass road trip, but why can't I plan my life like that? And then I was like, why not? Next thing you know, so what I want to offer is I'm a decluttering life coach. Now, why the decluttering? I will tell you that too, because all of my life coaching principles can apply to everything. But sometimes I know, back in the day when somebody asked me, like, what do you want to do with your life? I want to rock. I was like, I don't even know. It was overwhelming. So you know what we do? We chunk it down. Let's just start with your house. Let's start with your home. Let's start with where you live and the stuff you have in your home. And I say this is so funny. Somebody says Tucson. Oh, Gilroy, California. Yep, garlic capital. I got that on my map. Let's start with your clutter, because what you will learn from me, hopefully, if I'm doing what I intend to do, my destination for today is to help you see that you can do something about what bugs you. And when you learn how to do this on a smaller scale, what you learn, the skills you learn to declutter your home, you can then scale them up and use them in different parts of your life. If you choose. If all you want to do is get your home looking good and functioning well and feeling good, oh my God, we can totally do that. I like to just let you know that these skills that you learn the way I coach don't just stay in your house and it's like, well, that's what I do with my house, but what do I do here? No, I learned a way of approaching these things that you can kind of copy and paste them and say, oh, I can apply that thing over here, and so on and so on. I am also, as you can probably tell already, I'm a Gen X person who also has a wicked lot of pop culture and songs in our head, and this is how I speak in real life. I will burst into, like, wouldn't you like to be a pepper too? Whatever comes to my head, because I enjoy being a girl. I like thinking the way I think. The way I think has helped me get to where I am, and I love it. It hasn't always been this way, so I savor it even more. There were decades of my life where I'm like, oh my God, is this it? Is that all there is? Is that all there is? And it wasn't. I had just blinders on. I wasn't daring to dream that I could live in a cool house with a cool husband, in a cool little town with cool friends. Cool is my word. And meet cool people like you. So again, I'm kind of blabbing on right now, but this is not me talking at you. Everybody's talking at me. I'm not going to be here talking at you until, for the next 52 minutes. I am here for you. You know where you are. You know what you do well, which I know you do good stuff. You do. Do not underestimate the good stuff you have already done. But also, don't judge yourself and don't get bummed out about the stuff you don't know how to do well yet. Yet is such a wonderful word. It's like, I don't know how to do it is a period at the end of the sentence. I don't know how to do it. Oh well, guess I never will. But I don't know how to do it yet. Possibility. Okay? So, what are you stuck with? What is stopping you from moving forward with your home being decluttered? I know a lot of the common things that come up with a lot of people because I coach people. I've got a mailing list and all that kind of stuff. But I want to ask you. And I'm pausing kind of for effect, but also I'm asking you, so then you ask yourself, yeah, what is jamming me up clutter-wise? And when you pause and you listen, I'm always curious of whatever comes up, because that's a really good place to start. There's going to be something you look at that triggers a feeling that causes you to either go, yay, I'm going to do it, or no, I'm not going to do it. What is that one item in your home? Let's get really specific. What's one item in your home that you're like, ugh, I don't know what to do with this? Is it mail? Is it live, or is it Memorex? I wanna start where you are. This is your road trip. I am just your co-pilot for the next 50 minutes. You're the driver. You know where you're stuck, and hopefully you know where you want to go. If you don't know where you want to go, let's figure that out too, so we can move forward. Okay? All right. Fatima says clothes. Clothes, clothing. That is something that jams a lot of people up, myself included. You know? Hey, there we go. And Hilda, notice I am not going to laugh at you. I'm going to high five Hilda, who says, don't laugh at me. I threw away a bag of lonely socks. Got to start somewhere. And yes, start with the stuff you know you don't wear. So Fatima, or Fatima, not sure how you pronounce it, start with this, okay? First of all, notice the clothes you wear all the time, okay? Notice the clothes you wear all the time. Carla, I just read, my heart goes out to you. My dad had a chair as well. Notice what you love. Notice your clothes you wear all the time. I say this and my hand goes in a circular motion because the clothing you wear is in circulation. It is the clothes on your body, or the clothes in your hamper, or the clothes in the washer, or the clothes in the dryer, or the ones on top of the dryer, or the ones on top of your bureau, or the ones in the closet that you need to put away. Notice the ones you wear, and notice the ones you don't wear. The ones you don't wear, you can divide those into two categories. You can say, I will never wear this, and it's easy for me to let go of these. Start with those. Put them in a donation bag, donate them somewhere. The ones you're going to have left, though, are the ones that you need to make decisions on. That's the yellow. It's not green, I love it, and red, I don't like it. But yellow, what am I going to do with it? And that requires you paying attention to yourself. Okay? Aw. And listen to yourself. Hear your stories. Feel your feelings about these things. That's that dress I used to wear back in the day. And my postmenopausal butt does not fit in it anymore. And I don't think it ever is going to fit in that dress. All right, so what am I going to do with it? I'm not wearing it. It's something that's telling me a story. Would somebody else look really snappy in that dress? Yeah. I bet I could donate that. It's okay. I enjoyed wearing it. I'm probably not going to fit in it anymore. This is just me talking to me. I think somebody else is going to look so cute in that dress. I'm going to fold it up and put it in this donation bag. That's what you do, a piece at a time. You hang out with yourself and you listen to your own stories. Okay? Now, nice to see everybody. And Carla, it's good. I mean, Carla, it can be tough. So we talk about clothing. We talk about surface clutter. We talk about stored clutter. We talk about sentimental clutter. Your dad's chair. Your mother couldn't do it. Your mother couldn't do it. You did something tough. You did something your mom couldn't do. And you felt some feelings. It's okay to cry, you guys. It's okay to feel emotions when you are decluttering. Crying is the way your body is releasing stuff it doesn't want anymore. You've been pent up and you're letting it out. You're letting out your grief. You're throwing up. You've got tears. You're pooping out. Your body gets rid of stuff all the time. You're sweating. It can be tough, but you said, my mother couldn't do it, and I cried like a baby. That's okay. But it's okay. So you did the tough stuff. Yeah, and people are with you. Kelly is saying, my mom died a few months ago, and I'm having a hard time. You know what? This can take a while. Do not rush yourself. Okay? On Fire says my mom is bedridden. Yeah, I cried while separating my favorite clothes. You know, here's what I want to offer to you as a method of going through this so you have a bit of structure in your head. Honor the pace that you are moving forward in as the right thing. You're going to know when it feels overwhelming to do something and when it's okay to say, not yet. I'm still grieving the loss of my mom. It's only been a couple of months. It is okay to move forward at whatever pace is working for you. But notice when your pace isn't working for you. Notice when you kind of want to get moving, but there's something holding you back. Okay? But be okay with where you are now. And that feels better now. And then from that point of feeling like this is okay, I'm doing all right, then you might be able to make a plan, some baby steps forward. Okay? And thank you for sharing that, Carla, because you have shared with everybody here that we're not alone in this, that we are feeling feelings about our stuff. Okay? That You know, I'm going to go up and I help my old aging mother. Ooh, there's a bug near my shoe. Okay. Sorry, I didn't mean to get distracted, but there's like a yellow jacket. I'm going to pretend I'm not even here. I'm going to help my mother go through some of her stuff. It's going to be tough. My husband later this afternoon, after he does his Patreon live, is going to go down the basement and walk down his memory lane of a lot of this stuff that he's accumulated that we have spread out. You know, we all, if you have things in your home, which you do, or else you wouldn't be listening to a decluttering life coach, your stuff tells you stories. The story can be, I bought that at Target and I thought it was going to work, and it kind of works, but it actually doesn't work the way I thought it was going to, but I still can use it as a thing to prop up my phone on doing a TikTok live, you know? And you're doing okay. You're doing all right, and you're doing okay. On Fired For You says, Beth, thanks for being here with your awesome advice when moving forward in our journey. We are all moving forward in our journey, okay? Every single one of us is in a car on a road trip called our lives. I'm in my car, you're in your car. We are all on a road together. But we are all at a different part in our journey. Now, there's 2 levels to this. We are between work and death. That was who was that? There was that band from the 80s, Birth, School, Work, Death. The somethings, can't remember what they called, the Godfathers or like the somethings. We have birth and we have death. That is one road trip that we're all on, no matter what. You're born, you live, and then you died. So sad, I want to cry. That was the Smiths, if anybody's wondering. I was reading today because I was reminded of my aunt who passed away. Her birthday was on Friday when my cousin said, it's not about the car, the clothes, the cash, it's how you spend your dash, okay? We also are in between where we are in our lives and digging where we are, and if we don't dig where we are, hopefully we're moving towards the life that we want that's better than what we have now. And not better in a superficial way where it's all glamour and buying a bunch of purses and stuff. No, because you've done that. You've bought the stuff hoping to make yourself feel better, and this stuff has turned into clutter that's just getting in the way of you living your life. Okay? Janie Tomba is saying, thank you. I'm overwhelmed with all the family boxes of documents. Why me? You know what? Because, I don't know, it just happens. I am the person in charge of that stuff with my family. I will share with you. When my husband goes down the basement today, go through his memorabilia, we did this on Friday too. So I looked in my stuff and I was looking for my family tree stuff. I know now it's up in a closet up here, so I'm going to be working on that stuff too. What I want to offer to you, Janie, is you have a wonderful opportunity to be the gatekeeper or the keeper of the family stories. You can keep documents and stories you want to live on for the future generations. You can also throw away documents of things that doesn't matter to anybody. Oh, look, those guys paid off their mortgage. Oh, look, somebody got a late notice because they didn't pay their credit card bill. You know, here's a wish you were here postcard that those guys went down the beach once. You know, you have a wonderful opportunity of saying, what stories do I want the future generations to know about my family? Do they need to know every single trip I went on? Oh my God. People 50 years from now, my nieces and nephews right now don't care all my trips. They're important to me, so I take pictures, but it shouldn't matter to them. What should matter to them is I say what I'm going to do and I do it. You know, Cat Mama's doing it now for her parents and sisters. I'm there with you guys. I am so in that pool with you right now. We get to choose. What are the stories we want to live? Which are the ones we want to fade away? You get to decide for future generations. Do you want to keep that letter that your aunt wrote to your mom and said she was such a jerk? Maybe, maybe not. You get to decide. And you get to decide when you do it, if you do it, for how long you do it. But notice, this is something I want to offer too. Okay? So, Kashish, I see your question. I'll answer it in a second. I'm just desperately trying to keep track of my own my own thoughts that are everywhere. What do I want to say about this? You know what? This is what I climbed up the tree and I got off on a limb and now I fell off the tree, so I have to climb up the tree again. It happens, okay? So mail and paperwork. Paperwork is stuff, papers tell a story. Get curious about the papers you have and why you've decided to keep them. What story do they tell? Do you need to keep the evidence of that story, or can you find it elsewhere? Now, sentimental stuff is different from bills and paperwork and your PICO bill and all that. Two different categories, two different ways of approaching it, okay? So, because she says, and I apologize if I mispronounce everybody's names. I'm trying to do the best with the vision that I have and how things are written. How can I help my sister, who's a hoarder, living in my parents' home? They passed a year and a half ago. Okay, here's what I recommend. If your sister is a true hoarder, please know that that is a diagnosis, a mental health diagnosis in the DSM-5. That is above my pay grade. But what I do when I learn of people being hoarders, I let them know, so I'll let you know that there are mental health professionals out there that can help with hoarders. I am not officially trained and licensed to help people in that way, so I don't want to represent that I am. I know my niche, I know the place that I am good at, and I am happy where I am, so I do not care to get that kind of training. However, there are people out there who will help. The other thing I will let you know, though, and this is two things, is immediately, and I say this with love, immediately when you're on one of my TikTok lives, I am team you. I am not team sister. Your sister needs help with her hoarding, but she's going to need to want the help. You want to help her, but you know what? I say this. How can we help you with this situation? What do you want this situation to be? And what can we do so that you can move forward to what you want? I'm thinking, but this is just off the top of my head, you might want your sister out of the house so you can sell the house. I don't know. But when you know what you want, then we can move forward towards that. It took a while, frankly, to get my husband's brother to move out of the house that their family grew up in after his parents passed. It was delicate. It was fraught. It was tense. But luckily now we're on the other side and things are better, okay? So baby steps, okay? Baby steps. Yeah. And Cat Mama says, found a letter my grandfather wrote to my mom and aunts. He died when I was 5. So you get to learn about people. Think about this. We are all in a continuum of our family generations. I am working on my family tree, and I've been doing this for a while, and I let it lapse because I couldn't find the way to do it. Pardon me, I'm fixing my bra straps here. What do you want future generations to know about you? What do you enjoy learning about past generations? Set it up so they learn the good stuff that you want to be known for. So there's that connection in your family, because you get this stuff. You are also saying, okay, what am I keeping so that they know it? Do I want them to be like, oh my God, she left me with all this crap? Or do you want to be able to, it was a car going by. Do you want to take care of some of this stuff now for yourself? Because again, I'm team you. I'm not team other generations. Sorry, that was my husband. I am not team other generations. I am team you. If you want to declutter, I want you to declutter for yourself. Doing it for other people is nice, is a nice thing, but I want you to live in a decluttered home because I want it to feel good for you. So sometimes doing it for somebody else gives us the motivation. Do it for yourself, though, too. What's in it for you? Okay? Yeah, what's in it for you? And I know myself, like, seriously, you guys, I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to pretend I'm somebody I'm not. I have boxes down the basement. They're each a standard size, probably easily from the last 20 to 30 years. Every year I decided, because I have been in the past a collector of paper that represents the good stuff that's happened in my life. I got in the habit years ago of keeping a box every year and labeling it. But I'm not just going to label it and not look at it. I enjoy putting things in it. I put far fewer things in there than I ever have every year. I have decreased that amount of decluttering, or the clutter that I collect. But also, I have a plan that I am going to go through those things, I don't know, maybe starting when I'm 70, and I'm going to go walk down memory lane. And at that point, any stories I want to share, I'm going to share them with my nieces and nephews. They're too young right now. They don't care. I remember when I was their age. They don't care about my stories. That's okay. I save them so I remember them. But let's say I die, and they don't know what are in those things. I don't want them to feel any guilt to keep them. What if they go up in flames or we get a thing? Oh, well, I enjoyed what I did when I did it. You know? Yes, please do everything for yourself. What's in it for you? Ask yourself. This is not selfish. This is not greedy. What's in it for me? Why am I about to embark on this journey of decluttering? That's your destination. What's in it for me is my destination, and feeling good. You know? This is captured seconds of saying thank you for the perspective you give. Yeah, because this is what worked for me, and I am living, and this is not showing off, people. I am not a show-off. Because if I wanted to be a show-off, I could show off. I am sharing with you that it feels so good to live a life that you're aligned with just the right amount of stuff in your house. Goldilocks, not too much, not too little, just right. And the way I learned how to do that was trial and error. And it took me way too long. That's why I show up in your life right now to say, I know a quicker way. Don't follow the path I took because it took too long. Start now, learn from me. If you want me to become your coach, you get the shortcuts. I will show you a quicker way to get from where you are to where you want to be, clutter-wise and otherwise. I love how that rhymes. But please, before you embark on anything, say what's in it for me. Okay? Love all your perspectives. Helps me get focused. And yeah, focus in here. Your brain, your head, and your heart are what move your hands. Ooh, it's getting bright out. Hope you guys can see me okay. You know what? Maybe I'll put up the umbrella. Or I'm going to move myself into the shade. Oh, wait. Or maybe the sun's just going to go in again. Things change all the time, people. Okay? So, I show up for you. I'm here. It's about half hour since I started this TikTok live. I used to be in college radio back in the day. So I feel like I should introduce myself at the bottom of the hour. Hey, my name is Beth. I'm a decluttering life coach, and my coaching here on TikTok and on YouTube and on Instagram and Facebook and my website, Destination Decluttered. DestinationDecluttered.com, because who doesn't want to be decluttered? Decluttered is your destination, but I want to help you enjoy the journey. Yeah. So a couple of things. Amber says, my daughter says I'm a sentimental hoarder. You may be. I keep sentimental stuff. I keep items that tell me stories. I keep items that tell me good stories, but I also have learned to remember those stories in other ways. You guys, we have a wonderful tool in our toolkit right now, which is called your cell phone that takes pictures. You can take pictures of items so you remember them, so you don't have to keep the item. Okay? The other thing, too, is user 5942, etc. says too much stuff. Comes from growing up poor? Maybe. Or depression? Maybe. You know yourself better than I do. But I will say this from coaching and from my own perspective, is when you don't have a lot, when you don't have much, you hang on to what you get. I grew up with people who grew up poor. So they hung on to things. They did not have a lot. My people came over on the potato boats. You know, they all lived in one house. You know what I mean? I'm sure you have a story of where your people came from too. They didn't come from a lot, so they hung on to things. But two things have probably happened in your life. Maybe they have, but it has happened in our society in the U.S. Great Depression, World War II affected people that we are still kind of connected to generationally. They may still be alive today. After World War II, things changed. Two things changed. One was that the way that people made items was easier because they had all these factories that made things for the war that they still wanted to keep running. So what did they start manufacturing? Consumer goods, stuff for the consumers to buy. The other thing that happened is that men coming back from war needed jobs. Those jobs were, during the war, done by women. So you know what they did? They said, oh, women should belong in the house. You don't, because the women needed to leave the jobs so the guys could have the jobs. So as a woman, it was expected to keep this nice house. And suddenly the bar was raised on what was okay and what wasn't. So many things went into having a house that looked good and felt good and all that kind of stuff. The third thing I think is really important about this that has affected the way we live in clutter, the internet shopping, Amazon, QVC, the ease with which things can be mass-produced and the ease with which those mass-produced items can be easily obtained by us hitting a button and getting it droned to our house 7 days a week, 24/7. We have increased the speed with which we can get things, but our nervous system is still maybe coming from a place of lack, so we hang on to stuff. Okay? This is not unique to you. I share this with you. I'm going to get up and get myself into the... Here, hold on. It's going to... There we go. All right, that makes me feel better, so I'm not so glary. We all live in this society. We are all affected by that. When it was hard to get stuff, you hang on to it in case you needed it. Now, you can get another one like that. All right? You're not alone. And we are all in a continuum of being affected by the world around us. Okay? Now, Laura says, I've been trying to understand why sometimes I am on fire to declutter and sometimes I feel resistant. Notice you found out when you're resistant, it's often when your hubs is pushing me. Yeah, he's trying to push you forward when you don't want to go forward, and maybe you're being a bit resistant. See, here's the deal. I'll share with you guys. I am so much better of a coach for my people that I work with than I am with my husband. I push him. Come on, let's go down the basement. Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. This is important to me. He's like, yeah, whatever, I'll get to it. But notice there might be some resistance, some tension. I don't want to do it, but you're making me. There's tension right there. It's good to know. It's good to know that. So, okay, when can you do it when it feels good to you, that you want to do it, so you don't want to be pushed? Okay? Yeah, BS2834 says, I need help, but not with someone who is judgmental. I shut down. So do I. So do I. I don't want to be judged. Why did you keep that piece of paper? Fuck you. I kept it because I wanted it. You know? I mean, that's how I could easily be. So showing up for yourself in that energy of non-judgment. Non-judgment over here. Sorry. Judgment is over here. Non-judgment. Curiosity and love is over here. Okay? Mama Pepper says, well, you need Beth then, you know? So it is something to practice to not judge yourself. If you're judging other people, and we're all guilty of this, if you're judging other people, you're also judging yourself. Judging is comparison. Judging is a comparison. No, don't do that, do this. Do it the way I want, not the way you want. What's in it for you? Say to yourself, okay, do I want to declutter? What's in it for me? I think, seriously, my husband's like, just to get my wife off my back and to get this stuff cleaned up. But he's also enjoying the process once he gets into it because we're going down memory lane. He's like, oh my God, look at this. Look at this poem I wrote when I was in 4th grade. Look at this band I used to be in. Here's a picture of some people that we both know, and everybody looks so like such babies. You know? Okay, so notice there's a difference between decluttering with and for yourself and involving somebody else. So Hilda says, I make a mess. And when I don't finish, my husband comes up behind me and cleans and piles it back up. I think I'm guilty of that myself, because here's the deal. Notice, if you're making a mess, get curious. Why don't you finish? What is not finished? Everybody has their own level of comfort with stuff all over the place and not. You have a version of it that you're okay making a mess and not finishing it and leaving it out. You're cool with that. It doesn't bug you, but it bugs your husband. So he comes up and tidies up behind you. That's me. You know why I'm like that? Because I grew up in a cluttered household. I feel better in a house that has cleared surfaces. So note that he's trying to do a good thing. Hopefully he's not doing it in a judgy way, but also get curious, Hilda. Why are you making a mess and not cleaning it up? Now note, that may sound judgy and I don't mean it to be. Get curious. Remove the judgment and just say, why am I making a mess and why don't I finish it? Making a mess is part of the process. Don't get me wrong. You need to, it's going to look temporarily, here's one of my classic phrases, write this down. It's going to look temporarily worse before it looks permanently better. It's like making cookies. It's something that you are in a cycle. You're in a process. You get all your ingredients, they're nice and neat, and then you start putting things together, and then you've got eggshells and flour and sugar has spilled, and it looks junky, and you've got the stuff there. But no, you're in process. But then you get to a certain point, and the cookies go in the oven, and then, ideally, you then clean up after yourself, and then you have a clear surface and cookies. So notice about yourself why you make a mess and why you haven't cleaned up about it yet. You know? When you learn why you do what you do, you can change it. Or even if you don't care why you do it, just noticing that you have done it in the past and you do it now can make you aware of the habits you have. Okay? On Fire For You says, after Hurricane Katrina, I became a hoarder of canned goods and foodstuffs. Yes, notice. Something happened, and then I did this. I did that. Now, for a while there, here's a crazy thing with me, you guys. It has been 4 years, basically, 2020 to 2024. So we picked up habits. Remember I was talking earlier about people who got affected by the Great Depression, and they did certain things even after the Depression was over? COVID is our Great Depression. Notice. Now, on Fire For You, I haven't, after COVID, now I hoard the toilet paper. Yeah. 4 years ago, there was a temporary shortage of toilet paper. 4 years ahead, you are still in that mindset of fear of not being able to wipe your bum. Now, I say this as a joke. I'm trying to make light of it, but just notice. You have a habit. You are fearful of not having toilet paper, so you grab onto it. And you keep on every time I go to the store. I will never forget. Let me think what year it was. 2001? Maybe? Yeah. 2001, my great aunt Aga died. She was my godmother, and she, for pretty much her entire adult life, she and my Uncle Jim lived in a one-bedroom apartment that they moved into after he got out of World War II. She was one of the first people that showed me how to declutter in a way. So I would go to her house and we would hang out and she would be like, oh, I'm going to get rid of this and get rid of that, like some things. But when she died and I went, because I've always been the person in the family who helps with this type of stuff, I went to go help clean out her thing. Oh my God, she had a little pantry underneath the stairs that I swear to God, we used to joke that she probably asked somebody every time they came to visit to bring a can of chicken broth because there were 30 or 40 cans of chicken broth. She was okay. She didn't need the chicken broth, but she still had a fear of being without food. She grew up during the Depression. Okay? So notice the habits you have that are making things pile up in your house. Notice these things and empowered. I'm giving you the power. I got the power. You can change it. But you have to be aware of it first. Case in point, when my husband and I were down the basement going through clutter 2 days ago, we realized that we had gotten into the habit of when we got stuff delivered from Amazon, we would get it and be like, this is a good box. That's a good box. We might ship something someday. Okay. This was like not overt. That was like your brain goes through it in 2 seconds. That's a good box. I might need it someday. So we would open the door from the kitchen to the basement and kick the box down. And then at some point when we were down the basement, we'd take the box and throw it in the pile of boxes. Well, then I got to the pile of boxes on Friday and I was like, oh my God, we have way too many boxes. So I knocked down some of them, not all of them, because we might still need them and they don't take up too much room. But then I said, you and I have to be careful now. We have to pay attention. Paying attention that the next time we get a box, we have to remember we have enough. We are okay. And we have to stop kicking them down the stairs and we have to start doing something else. We have to start stopping doing that, and then we will cut the box, break it down, and put it in the recycle bin. It's the awareness of what you're doing that allows you to change it. If you're totally, I have no idea how I got this messy. I have no idea. Sit down and notice, what's the paper trail? How did that one thing get on the cupboard? In the cupboard. How did that thing that's on the counter that's bugging you, let's trace it back. Let's be Nancy Drew and looking for clues. How did it get there? Well, how did I get here? You know what? I got here and on TikTok on my Sunday, hanging out with you guys, because I want you to have an awesome life. I know how to do it. I want to share the way, because before I die, I want more people on the earth to have decluttered homes that are easy to take care of, so you're not spending all your 1950s housewife time making a good home and all that kind of stuff, that you're out changing the world, using the one precious life you have and the energy and time you have on this earth to do something else, to do something better, to do something that your heart is longing to do. Okay? If you spend your time in this kind of cycle of buying and cluttering and then decluttering and then buying again, you're going in circles. When you can stop it, stop the insanity, like Susan Powter used to say, you will then have time and space in your house and in your brain and in your calendar to do stuff that really matters. So that when you're on your deathbed, remember I talked about it, destination, birth, school, work, death, that when you're on your deathbed, you're going to be like, I did some cool stuff with this one precious life I had. As opposed to, God, I spent a lot of money at Target. I went to Marshall's a wicked lot. And now I have all this stuff that my kids are pissed off that they have to clean out my house. You know? So just notice this. On fire for you said it's freaking hysterical. I still have that book in my library. Yeah. This is one of the reasons why, you guys, people were asking me yesterday, on my TikTok live, do you have a book? What book do you recommend? I don't recommend any book on decluttering. I don't. You know why? Because when you're reading a book about decluttering, you're not actually doing the process. You're convincing yourself you're doing something. You can learn what you would read in a book by hanging out with me on this TikTok. And while you're listening to me, you could also be decluttering your kitchen. Now, not the stored stuff and the sentimental stuff, but you can declutter the stuff that's on the surface while you're talking to me, and learn, so that when I turn off in about 17 minutes or so, you can say, now I can go to the next level. I will open up that cupboard and say, do I really need all of these coffee mugs? And then you're going to listen to your stories of why you have them and why the ones you want, the ones you don't want, and the ones you're like, well, maybe, what if we have people over? Well, that one reminds me of when we were in Tennessee. My husband likes this one. I like that one. Listening to your stories. Okay? Yeah. Pantry shelves. There you go. Cynthia's doing the pantry. I love it. Pantries are wicked easy to me because they have those expiration dates. Okay? Notice that. Hey, happy Sunday to you, strong silver soul sister. So funny. I like an alliteration, but sometimes I trip over my own tongue about it. So, if you haven't noticed, it's been 45 minutes, and this is how I approach life. This is how I talk. These are the stories I use. These are the songs I sing. This is how I coach. So if you're looking for a coach, and I mean, I am getting a bit infomercial-y here, but I just want to let you know that there are options out there. I do one-on-one coaching with clients. I do a 10-session package, and then oftentimes people buy another 10 and another package, another package, another package. I can only help you at a certain level on a TikTok live because I'm talking to hundreds of other people. But this is good stuff. This gets you started in the TikTok live because I'm talking to hundreds of other people. But this is good stuff. This gets you started, and that this hopefully gets you inspired and encouraged to know that you can do something about the clutter that bugs you. There we go. Goldie72 said, tossed old food cans from 2020. You know? Cynthia says, the best life coach ever. Thank you. I enjoy what I do. I love getting into interesting conversations with people because clutter is not just how it looks on the surface, and we all know that. Because the surface can look okay, but it can still smell funky. Like, you know it looks okay, but you know, because you have x-ray vision. Whoa. You have your x-ray specs on and you can see through the doors and drawers and you know what's below the surface. And that can make you feel good or it can make you feel not so good. The next layer down is what coaching really helps you with. Everybody knows how to clean up stuff, but even tidying up the surfaces, you can be shoving stuff. Don't go into that room. Don't open that closet. Don't open that cupboard. Don't open that drawer because it's a mess inside. And I don't know what to do with my junk drawer. I don't know what to do with all my clothes in my closet. I don't know what to do with the sentimental stuff. You know? Yeah. I love it. So Cynthia is saying, I used to call you a declutter coach. Now I say life coach. That's why I have learned to say decluttering life coach, because I don't want to misrepresent. It's not just about the clutter and it's not just about the life. It's two mints in one. Or even better, it's chocolate and peanut butter. Nom. You know? And because they're all intertwined. You guys, we are all a bunch of stuff. We are stories in our heads that make our hearts feel something. And when we feel something, we either can grab it, we can let it go. Oh my God, that's a good deal. Oh my God, I know this is worth more than they're selling it for. I'm smart. I know these things. I can afford to buy this. I have money now. Oh, you know what? I'm thrifty, so I know that I can get this. I found a deal at the Goodwill. I know all these things that go through my head. You know, do I need 4 more cans of garbanzo beans? But man, they were only 25 cents a piece. I know a deal when I see one. But then all of a sudden you've got a wicked lot of garbanzo beans, or chickpeas as they call them. All right. We are all our unique selves. And the thing is when you tune your radio into the stories you're telling yourself, you can notice how the stories you tell yourself make you feel. One of the stories you are probably telling yourself is, I don't have time to declutter. I have so much going on, I don't have time to do it. And what I want to offer to you is you have time. You have time. And I'm not saying you have time to declutter and it's just whatever. You have time in your days. You choose to spend your time doing certain things. Now, some things you have chose to do years ago. I chose to have this job that takes 40 plus hours of my day, right? You can choose how to spend your time. And I say this to empower you, to say you don't need a whole day's worth. You're going to run out of energy before you run out of time. So even if you say, I've blocked off all of this afternoon for decluttering, your energy and your stamina and your brain are going to run out before the clock does. That doesn't mean you can't start now with a little bit, a little bit, a little bit. Set your timer. Choose one shelf. Go through it. Throw away some things, donate some things. That is decluttering. Feel good about it. Lather, rinse, repeat. Show it up again. You know? And that's how it goes. Then notice, this is the thing, when you make it easy and simple, you'll realize it's not so bad. This isn't so bad. This was kind of fun. And now, look, the basement looks better. And now, look, you found some pictures of yourself when you were young. And now, look, now I know that my family tree stuff is not down the basement. I think it's upstairs in this thing. You'll get something good out of it. And then that makes it easier to show up again, because it's not a one and done. It's not an all or nothing. It's not I'm not going to do anything and then I'm going to do everything. You're going to run out of steam and energy and capacity to make decisions before that. So do a little bit at a time. It's like strength training. It's like training for a marathon. It's like training your body, doing a little bit at a time. Little bit every day helps. Gets you showing up. And that's why I have a habit tracker that I share with people who are on the TikTok, on the Destination Decluttered mailing list. 15 minutes of decluttering, 15 minutes of decluttering. You don't do it every day? No big deal. I'll do it tomorrow. You know, then you go back and you do it tomorrow. You don't say, you know. Now, On Fire For You says, every day I try to mindset on your advice to live in abundance and not lack, to not hold on to the what ifs. Okay? Yeah, what if I need it? What if you die tomorrow? What if you would, is there something you'd rather do with your space in your home in your time? Do you want to be crafty? Do you want to go out and travel the world? No, I can't do that. I have to clean my house. Blah. There we go. Yeah, spices, bought all new, and kept the old. See? The fear of letting go of the old while you already have the new. Fear keeps you holding on to stuff. Trust and love and abundance. I'm going to be okay. I can let this go and it's all right. And spices also dry up. They don't taste as good. Some things you hang on to. I remember this back in the day. My dad won a pair of golf shoes in a golfing tournament. I don't even know when. God, it was probably in the 70s. My first husband played golf. My dad gave him these shoes. The first day that my ex-husband wore them, they fell apart because my dad had saved them for so long. They got dried out and broke because this was 10 or 15 years after he'd bought them. The things you hang on to age. They get crackly. Things dry out. They don't taste as good as they did when they were new. Lipsticks decompose. Clothing fades or gets crunchy or gets moth holes in it. So just notice these things, okay? Notice these things. Pulled stuff out of the walk-in, says RNJ95. Got out my fall blankets. That's the time of year. Pulled out something to send to my family. Yeah, mementos from their grandmother. Yeah, sharing the things you have, but also please, you guys, this is what I implore you to do too. I am all about sharing certain items, physical items, with the other generations. But if you are struggling with clutter, the people you know are probably struggling with clutter as well. You would do them a kindness to not give it to them unless they want it. Yes, I want that picture. I want to use that picture. Or, this is so funny, could you take a picture of the picture and share that on the family, text thread? Notice that. Yeah, Manatee Mermaids, I like to say, what if the sky turns purple and it rains frogs? Who knows? Yeah, nobody knows. But you know what? I choose to believe. This is one of my favorite sayings for myself. I choose to believe that things will be okay in the future. That if I need something that I have given away, it happens. I did a video a while back on it. But if I need something that I don't have, I can borrow it from somebody. I can use something else instead. I can wear another outfit. I can wear a different pair of shoes. I can use a saucepan instead of a rice cooker. I can use a knife instead of a mandolin. Yeah. Ignoring the voice from the past that tells you not to waste things. Yeah, that's a backseat driver. Yeah, you don't fear lack, but your backseat drivers do. Your backseat drivers don't do that. What if we don't have anything? What if, and it's lack and it's no? Shh. Things are going to be okay. And it's all mindset on fire for you. It really is, but that's not wrong. That's cool. You can change your mind. If I can't change my mind, then no one will. If I can't change your mind, Bob Mould, Husker Du, new VP guy likes Husker Du. Remember that song? Do you remember? It was another thing. There's so many layers there. But what I want to offer to you is this. It's all up here and it's all in here before you ever buy something or hold on to it or keep it or let it go. All of that stuff with your hands is run through your head and your heart first. And trust me, show me, notice this about yourself. Look at one item in your home that you struggle to do something with. It is telling you a story. And the things that you can't easily keep and say, yep, I feel good about this, or nope, I don't like it, are the things that have tension in them. Should I stay or should I go? It's pulling you this way and it's pulling you that way. It's tense. Who wants to be tense? Hang out there, kind of resolve the tension, decide to feel good about keeping it and not fearful, or decide that things will be okay if you let it go. Resolve the tension, and then you just don't have a tense life anymore. Okay? This is what it's all about, Charlie Brown. It really is. And you have if you're like me, I will just share this from my own experience. I just turned 58 a couple of weeks ago. I have fewer days ahead of me than I do behind me. Excuse me. TikTok is saying I got to sign off, and I will in 5 minutes. I want my life to, actually, this is cool. I will share this with you. I want my life ahead of me to be like it is now, increased a little bit, but I'm cool with where I'm at. I could not say this even 5 years ago. I could not say this even 10, 15, 20. So I want the life ahead of me, today and ahead, to be quality. Quality, not quantity. Okay? Yeah, there we go. Yeah. And yeah, Ashley B says, a child of clutterers. Thank you for doing this. It's so stressful. Notice the stress. And it's broken the family. Yeah, it can have really dire consequences. I grew up in a cluttered house. I have cluttered family. I have chosen to be different than that, and it just feels so much better. And even the people in my family that are cluttered, it does not bring them joy. It does not bring them joy. It causes chaos in their heads, stress in their nervous systems. They can't find anything. They're running around looking for stuff. It's not a good thing. So that's why I show up, to help with you. Just know that you can do something about it. I can help. I am a coach. This is what I do. I coach on these TikTok lives, but I'm also talking to 100 people. One-on-one coaching really gets to what's making you tick. With the stories in your head, what do they make you feel, and then what do you do in that feeling, and then how you can switch it up, how you can shake it off, like Taylor Swift says, and do something else. It's a choice you can make. Shelley Smith says, I look gorgeous. Thank you. It's all smoke and mirrors, but thank you. I don't know. I think it's pretty cool. I freaking love my life, and I love how I move forward in my life doing stuff that lights me up. And when I feel better, this is another thing, when I feel better, there's this positive ripple effect. I do better, not just for myself, but I'm nicer to my husband. I'm nicer to my friends. I am nicer to strangers. I do things to improve the world for other people, not just me. If I don't feel good, I'm not doing good for anybody else. So notice when you focus on yourself, when you're looking out there, start looking in here. It's a fun place to hang out. Get to know yourself, who you used to be, who you are, who you want to be. And then let's make a plan, you know? Now, Hannah says, do you remember what you first started with in your journey? No, because it doesn't really matter how you start. What matters is you start, and that you keep on going till you get to where it's feeling good, and you go through. It's like a road trip. I drove on Route 66 from Chicago to LA. There's a lot of fun stuff. There's a lot of really boring stuff on that road. You're like, oh my God, I've been driving through the desert for 6 hours. I could stop, but I'm too far away from where I was, and I'm not to where I want to be. I could stop in the middle here, but I don't want to be here. So I'm going to have to kind of just remind myself of why I'm doing this, and show up and do a little bit each day and get through the desert. And then sometimes there's going to be rainstorms. I'm going to be crying. I'm going to feel stuff. But I'm going to go through it because I want to get to that, and I want to enjoy it. I want to get to that destination, but I want to share this with you. The road trip. It's not just denying yourself and being miserable until you get there. No. It is a road trip. You are going to enjoy every day. I want you to enjoy every day. And be pointing your car towards that destination, so it keeps you focused on why I'm doing this. What's in it for me? Why am I doing this again? Like, I'm doing a TikTok live right now to encourage you to sign up for my mailing list on destinationdecluttered.com, to maybe encourage you to do something with your life that you want to do, to encourage you that if you want me to be your one-on-one coach, you sign up for a consultation in the next week or so. I do this, but I also do this because I know what I offer will change the world for the better. Yes, and even the longest journey begins with a simple step. You know, Shelley Smith says, you are such a wonderful person, and you have made a really great impact on me. Awesome. And then when I do that to you, then you're showing up better, and you are. It's like you guys, it's like the Fabergé organic shampoo commercial. I tell 2 friends, and you tell 2 friends, and so on, and so on, and so on, and so on. Cynthia says, I look forward to the weekly coaching. It's the highlight of my life. Okay, Cynthia, I'm flattered, but if our time together is the highlight of your life, on our next coaching session, we are going to make some other highlights of your life, okay? Because this is fun, but I also want you living a life that you're like, and I do these other cool things, okay? All right, friends, I'm signing off now. I want you to feel good about what you're doing and say, what can I do today to enjoy this day and move in the direction I want? And yeah, does it bring me joy? And honestly, I think that was Marie Kondo. I have a TikTok live tomorrow. Fun thing is I don't know when it is. It's in my notebook in the house. If you want to find out when it is, get on my mailing list. DestinationDecluttered.com/join. Sign up for the mailing list, and you get an email that will give you access to the schedule of me and my TikTok lives from now until the end of August. Also shows you how to sign up for coaching and also some other really neat fun stuff. Okay? I love it. Shelly Smith says, yes, this helped me go on vacation for the first time. Excellent. That's the kind of power I want. I want you to go enjoy your life, okay? I'm about to do that myself, and I'll see you at some time tomorrow. We'll figure out when that is. I can never hit that button. Now I've got it. Bye, you guys.